friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead. Today we're going to make chocolate jumble cookies. And one of the ingredients for my chocolate jumble cookies is white chocolate chips. Well, I didn't want to spend money on white chocolate chips. And since Easter is over, these white big solid chocolate bunnies, which the head is missing because somebody ate it, not me of course. But these white bunnies were $1.25 each. And if you can buy a half a pound of white chocolate chips for $1.25, you have at her, but this is what I do. I put it in the freezer, and voila, we have the beginnings of our white chocolate chunks. All right, we'll be back when everything else is together. Okay, to make our chocolate jumble cookies, we're going to start with 2 cups of sugar. Now, this is brown sugar, raw sugar, and white sugar because that's all I had left was a little bit each. So that's not going to make a big difference. Okay, sugar is, well, whatever sugar you got will work fine. Here is 1.25 pounds or 2.5 sticks of butter. Now let's get those in there. Lock down the cowgirl, and we're just going to start those creaming. And once they're creamed, we'll add eggs. Here we have 2 cups of flour. We're going to add a 2-finger pinch or a half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And if you notice, this is how I sift. I just get in there with my hand. Make sure everything's all busted up. Let's turn her up a bit because she's not creaming that fast. Now once your sugars and butters are creamed together nicely, we're going to add, let's shut her off for a second. Turn her back so we can scrape down her sides. We'll scrape down the sides of the butter and the brown sugar. Get that all back into the center. If you want to scrape off your spatula, the best place to do it is on your beater bar, because then it goes right back in. Now we're going to add 2 large eggs. And we are going to whip these puppies into a froth. Of course, after we lock her down and get her going. And while that's whipping up, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Well, this looks lovely and nice and creamy. So we're going to add our splash guard here. Turn her down a bit. Now here I have about 1 3/4 cups of nuts. This is pecans, almonds, and filiberts because that's what I had. But we're going to add those in last. And here I have about 1 cup of my white chocolate chunks that I got from that busted up Easter bunny. So let's just start adding in the flour. I suppose I should change it to a dough hook, but woo! What a mess I am making. And now we're just going to slow her down a bit to number 2. We're going to drop in our almonds and our filiberts and our pecans and our white chocolate chunks. You know what I forgot, folks? I forgot the cocoa. Hopefully it won't be too bad if we add it in now. You want 3/4 cup of cocoa. And I think what I'm going to have to do, because everyone makes mistakes, is, oh my goodness, that looks absolutely beautiful too, is I'm going to replace this with my dough hook and add the cocoa in at the end. So, my goodness, the things I forget. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put our 3/4 cup of cocoa in there because I forgot it. Lock her down and hope the dough hook does its work. And we'll be back when this is all mixed up and I've cleaned up my mess. Alrighty. Here is our cookie dough. And here's our tray. And as always, I'm probably going to have a few extra. So I'm just going to make some cookie balls and freeze them for another day. So we're going to take Now these are a drop cookie, but I like to make cookie balls. Now you can chill the dough if you like, but you don't have to. And all this means is they're a drop cookie. You can drop them from a spoon, but if you make them into balls, they become a lot more uniform when they flatten out in the oven. That one's a little too big. No, I know you can never have too big of a cookie, but yes, you can, because when I say someone can have 4 cookies, they take the 4 biggest cookies. Now, I should have added that cocoa in with the flour mixture, and I didn't. But as you can see, it did no harm. But if you wanted to make these a marble cookie, add your cocoa into the dough, and then just mix it in halfway, and you will get a nice swirl. Although I just made the cookies all the way. I just mixed it all the way through. We are going to bake these in the oven at 375 degrees for about 15 minutes because they're bigger than normal. If they were a smaller cookie, I would say 10 to 12. And there are our chocolate jumble cookies. Remember I said if you wanted to make them marble, you didn't have to, you could add the cocoa last and then kind of mix it in. I didn't really do that intentionally, but you could mix it halfway through and you'll get like a marbled cookie. These are going to flatten out a bit as I cool down, but you'll see Papa try them later. Folks, I had to make 2 batches of these cookies. The frozen ones, I never even got to try. So, Papa?
You better get some or you ain't gonna get any.
All right, bring me one, will ya? Thank you. Thank you. Give it back. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying chocolate jumble cookies. Oh my God.